It's unusual for a high school to be able to do a show that is still on Broadway. It is really unusual to get two in the same year.
You said that this particular production is stretching you and you're doing things that you hadn't done before.
We have 80 students who are involved in this. There are no scenes that are just dialogue.
Have you done shows with trapdoor like that before?
No, never.
Hello and welcome to the Supercast. I'm your host, Superintendent Anthony Godfrey. It is a Broadway hit winning 8 Tony Awards and garnering rave reviews. Now the critically acclaimed musical Hadestown is about to be performed at Riverton High School. On this episode of the Supercast, find out how Riverton High was awarded the rights to Hadestown and is among the first high schools in the country to perform the play, which is still running on Broadway. It is a student performance worthy of a standing ovation, thanks in part to the two people you're about to meet, musical directors Erin McGuire and Clint Eaton. For those who are listening who aren't familiar with the story, tell us what Hadestown is about.
It is the way the writer put it together is an intertwining of the two Greek mythology stories with Persephone and Hades, and Orpheus and Eurydice. So Orpheus and Eurydice fall in love. She's actually killed by a snake that may or may not be Hades. Has to go down to hell. And then Orpheus, her love, comes and finds her, takes her back, and she can walk behind him but not next to him on the way out of hell. If he turns around and looks at her, she goes back down and he can't get her again. And then with Hades and Persephone, she is the daughter of the goddess of the harvest, and she loves being outside and loves nature, but she also fell in love with Hades. So to make a deal to make them both happy, she spends 6 months with him in Hades and 6 months up on Earth. So it's how those two stories in the author's mind twists them together as these two beginning of love and middle of love stories. It's gorgeous.
And talk about the setting for the story.
We have two basic settings, above ground and below ground. So we have our performers at the beginning of the show, and it's kind of in a pub, a bar, New Orleans kind of a place. And then when we deal with people who are living down in Hades, it goes below ground. And so as you can see on the set here, it doesn't really change a whole lot. We do a lot with lighting, and we have fantastic lighting students who are doing some great things with it. And we adjust it that way, but it all just happens right here.
And I see a rock and roll setup there. Talk to people about how that comes into play.
Yes. Okay. We had the option of either using tracks that are pre-recorded or a live band, and we were lucky enough to be able to get live bands. So we have people from all over. A former student of mine from way long ago, a couple of teachers here in the district.
3 Jordan School District faculty members. We
Yes.
have Eric Noyce from South Hills Middle. He's on our keys. We have one of the teachers, Karen Smith,
Yes.
also at South Hills,
Yes.
who's our cellist, and she is
Fantastic.
professional, played with the Utah Symphony. And then we have Chris Jesse, who's our percussionist here, percussion teacher, who's on the drums back
The
there.
live music is going to make a huge difference.
It is, and we have this guitar player out of Utah County that is a studio guitarist. He doesn't do musical theater, so when we offered him the job, he was accustomed to studio work, and so he showed up the first day completely off book and memorized. He just thought he would just be
because
playing.
he's
Yeah.
used to the
a
studio work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so,
So
then
they
when
come
Eric,
in, they nail it, and they walk out.
Yeah, so Eric was on keys, and he's like, you can actually have your music. You're allowed to look at it because we have to go off of the actors. We
Wow.
don't necessarily get to do
Right.
what you want to do. So all of the musicians, we added them in on Tuesday, and they were so impressed with the students and how
And it sounds
prepared they
so
were.
amazing with the live
Yeah.
musicians.
Oh, it makes a huge difference.
Amazing. Oh my gosh.
And one of the things that has always impressed me about Riverton is that here you just described it. You pull in, here's university, here's a guitarist from Utah
Yes.
County, here are some teachers from throughout the district.
Yes.
You pull these resources together. Choreographers with
Yes.
experience on Broadway last time we talked, just all of these resources brought together to provide a great experience for students and for anyone fortunate enough to be in the audience. Oh, a trapdoor.
Right. Yes. Yeah, we'd like to take you down on it.
Only because I trust you, Clint.
No,
Always because
you're
I trust
totally
you.
good. It was just safety checked off by the head engineer at Hale Center Theater.
I feel super cool right now.
And then help him unload and help him get out the steps.
You just lowered me into hell on the trapdoor.
Yes.
I've only been to Riverton for a few minutes, and I've already taken a trip to Hadestown.
Well, we tried to give you the full experience.
That was
when you're
awesome.
here.
Tell me how exactly that works. That was very smooth.
We actually found a YouTube video. It's like really old-fashioned, like back to the 1700s.
Really?
On how like they would use it to basically in magic acts. And basically you construct a big box with a series of locks and levers that unlock, and then it's rappelling rope that goes through a pulley system, and we have different settings based on how fast or slow we want it to lower, and the students down there just set the pins, they unlock it, actors safe to load, and then it just goes down by the rope. It's strong enough that students can dance on it and do everything they need to and be just fine, because the whole point is we don't want to know it's there.
Yeah. It felt very stable. Have you done shows with a trapdoor like that before?
No, never.
But Hadestown is stretching
Yes.
stretching what you've done
Yes.
in the past.
And since we're also doing Harry Potter later in February, we're building stuff that can be used for both pieces. So this will also be used for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. And in a moment, we have some stuff. We had the head of Weber State Technical Theater out here with 6 hours yesterday with tech students rigging up things on our catwalks so they can lower lights, and we'll show you that in a moment. But for Harry Potter, we're going to drop the Dementors down on that system.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so what we were building for Hadestown, we're thinking of like both shows in conjunction.
Stay with us when we come back, a sneak peek at their incredible performance.
Never miss an episode of the Supercast by liking and subscribing on your favorite podcasting platform. Find transcripts for this episode and others at supercast.jordandistrict.org.
Are you looking for a job right now? Looking to work in a fun and supportive environment with great pay and a rewarding career? Jordan School District is hiring. We're currently filling full and part-time positions. You can work and make a difference in young lives and education as a classroom assistant or a substitute teacher. Apply to work in one of our school cafeterias, where our lunch staff serves up big smiles with great food every day. We're also looking to hire custodians and bus drivers. In Jordan School District, we like to say, people come for the job and enjoy the adventure. Apply today at employment.jordandistrict.org.
Paul, go ahead and lower those down, and then Dylan, turn them on when they're ready. And if you want to turn off house lights, Dylan, you can. So they have pulleys. Oh, wow. Go ahead and turn off house if you want, so we can see what it'll look like going down over the audience.
And they have that cool Edison light.
Yeah, so there's 5 students each on a pulley, lowering them down, and there's certain moments in the show where they get lowered down, and they have this effect. But the idea is we want it to be kind of magical in this show, that the audience all of a sudden realizes there's something over them. In Harry Potter, we want it to be terrifying because Dementors will be on the end of these instead.
My goodness.
Good job. That was really, really nice, guys.
Looks really good.
Go ahead. Yeah, give them a round of applause. They worked on that all day yesterday.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
That's a big impact.
Dylan, that's beautiful. I like that effect.
You said that this particular production is stretching you, and you're doing things that you hadn't done before. Tell me some of the things that are required in a Hadestown performance that really are moving you beyond where the program's been.
Well, we have had other productions that have had large casts, but we have 80 students who are involved in this.
Wow.
And I always, for our big musicals, we try to cast all the students that are auditioning for it, because being in a musical is one of those awesome experiences that are just, they're unique to the situation of being in high school. And we've seen kids make new friends, we've seen the new friend groups grow, and that's just really special for them. But to try to fit 80 students in the space, that's a challenge. For our choreographer to try to find a way to fit them on stage and in the front and they're in the aisles and have those dance pieces all work together, that's a challenge. For a show that I've seen once on Broadway, and I know it, but I didn't know it until I started working on it. For me, it's a huge stretch for me to be able to do this piece of art justice. For the students who some have never seen it, they aren't as familiar with it. They work a little bit with the music to teach them about it and what the story is and the gravity and how what their contribution to it really means. That's been a challenge. For them to learn the music has been a challenge. It's a sung-through show. There are no scenes that are just dialogue. Everything is sung through, like Les Mis. That's been a challenge. But
and they unlike Les Mis, there isn't this long precedent of this is what the performance looks like.
Correct.
So that's a bigger burden, a lot more creativity.
Yes.
But also it's exciting to be able to put your own stamp on it.
Absolutely.
And you may have already said this, but there's not much downtime.
No, there really isn't.
They're on stage. The ensemble has so much to do in this show. Even Les Mis, ensemble's busy because they're changing characters.
Yeah.
But they're
huge,
on.
They're a huge part of telling the story.
So the 80 that are involved are pretty much involved all the time.
We have done a little bit of separation.
Sure.
So we have our above ground workers and our below ground workers, or what they're called. In the script, they're called those workers. And so there are some moments when the entire cast is on stage several times throughout the whole show. But then there are some moments where we have 50 or 60 on, and then those switch with the other.
Wow.
So it's a back and forth coordinating kind of a situation.
It has a different feel to it. It's very engaging because it's so different.
Yes.
How have the kids felt?
They love it.
Developed through this
Let's ask them.
production.
Hey, students! Have you enjoyed being involved in this production of Hadestown?
Survey says yes, they've enjoyed it.
This is Ethan Hall. He's our Hades.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Tell me about your role.
So I play the lead villain in the show. I get to be the king of the underworld. Like, he's an industrialist, and at his core, he's not truly evil, but it's just like all of his actions are misplaced. So
Is you playing a bad guy? Is this typecasting, or is this?
I sure hope it's not.
I like the way you describe that. Is what he's trying to do, or his actions are misplaced.
Yeah.
He's not at his core a bad guy.
Yeah. In the end, he is he's redeemed. He's a lot of it is he's trying to make his wife happy by just always making his empire bigger and bigger, which that's not what she wants, and it takes the course of the show for him to realize that. So,
how has this role stretched you?
It's been a lot. I don't play villains very often, and I just get to it's really interesting, having that chemistry between characters. It's also a very low role vocally, and I don't get to use that range a whole lot in different productions, so it's been really, really fun to be able to sing low and have that different character work between people.
What's your method for memorizing? When you're driving in the car, are you always singing these songs? Do you dream them? How do you keep everything stored inside your head, ready to go on a moment's notice?
Yeah, with this show specifically, I've been obsessed with it for a few years. So I basically had most of the characters' lines memorized, but I do listen to it in the car whenever I can. A method I got taught is whenever I'm brushing my teeth at night, I just listen to any of the songs I'm having trouble with, and then I go to bed, and it sticks better. So, yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Good idea. For those listening, listen to your vocabulary words for the test the next day before you go to bed. So, what would you say to people who are considering whether to come? Why should they come see Hadestown?
I would have to say it's just a beautiful show. The music is incredible. All of our technical elements are some of my favorite I've ever seen. And just the message of the show is really beautiful. There's multiple stories to follow throughout it. And so it's just a wonderful, in my opinion, it's a wonderful way to spend your evening. It's just to come see it. It's going to be an amazing time.
It's an ambitious show to take on, and I can't wait to see it. I'm seeing it on closing night.
Oh, lovely. We
so
can't wait
it
to
will
see
be
it.
really fun to be here.
Awesome. I
Thank
really
you
hope you
very
enjoy
much.
it. Of
Congratulations.
Course, thank you so much.
Big artiste, ain't you working on your masterpiece?
Where's Eurydice?
Brother, what do you care? You'll find another muse somewhere.
Where is she?
Why you wanna know?
Wherever she is, that's where I'll go.
And what if I said she's down below?
Down below.
Down below, 6 feet under the ground below. She called your name before she went, but I guess you weren't listening.
No.
So, just how far would you go for her?
To the end of time. To the end of the earth.
You got a ticket?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Tell me your name.
I'm Tyler.
And tell me about the technical aspects of this show that are different from maybe other things you've worked on. I've already heard one of the actors raving about the stage tech aspect of this, and I experienced it myself, being lowered down into Hadestown. Tell me about the sound aspect of this production.
Well, unlike a lot of other shows, we have a live band, so there's a lot more going into it. We have, instead of just clicking play on a computer to play all of our music, we have a bunch of different musicians, and then because of that, we have to mix them to all sound right for the songs. And there's just a lot more things that can go wrong and can go right than just clicking a play button. So it's a lot different in that aspect. But
Clicking a play button is stressful enough.
It is,
making sure that you play the right thing at the right time. But the live music, controlling the sound of the drums and mixing that, I play in a very amateur band from time to time, and balancing that sound makes all the difference.
It does.
And whether the music can have that impact, especially when you're balancing it out with other things happening on the stage. Well, congratulations, and I can't wait to see it. I'm coming closing night. So.
Oh, you'll love it. You'll
He's
enjoy
done
it.
his job well if you don't notice anything.
Yeah, that's
you can
really
hear
it.
everyone.
If you don't notice,
they've done their job. He has a crew of 3. There's 3 people that are running sound for this.
Yeah.
Very cool. So are you up there?
Yes,
in
I'm up there on the mixer. Yeah.
The mixer. Awesome. Tell me your name.
My name's Taya.
And you're the dance captain.
Yeah, so I'm the dance captain and I'm in both ensembles.
Tell me about being dance captain.
So basically my job is to make sure everyone knows what they're doing in the show really in general, because this is a very dance heavy show. Like a lot of people wouldn't think that about Hadestown, but we have so many dance numbers. So I make sure our timing is correct and that everyone looks good and is having fun with what they're doing.
Looks good and is having fun.
Yes.
So I shouldn't be going 1, 2, 3, 4. You shouldn't be
Yeah,
counting.
you should not be doing
okay,
that.
all right. How many people might be dancing at one time?
I would say, about 80.
Between 40 and 80.
Wow.
So it's
Down
crazy.
into the aisles, out in front of the stage,
Yeah,
and
so
on
we have
the
people
stage.
in the front dancing like on the floor, and then we have people on stage and people in these 2 aisles dancing.
That's a ton to coordinate.
Yes.
How did you end up as dance captain? What is your dance background?
So I've danced basically my entire life. So I did competitive dancing for a while, and then I got into theater, and I was like, oh, this is so fun. And then you can combine the 2 aspects, so it's really fun.
I, as the director, chose her because I knew that she was a very excellent dancer and very organized on top of things and learning stuff really fast, and that she would be good with teaching and reteaching and training all the other students. And so I chose her to be that kind of leader for the show.
So you're not only a great dancer, you're also a great leader that's able to get the best out of those around you.
I would like to think so, yeah.
Talking with you now, I have great confidence that it's going to turn out fantastic.
Thank you.
I asked Ethan this. For those listening, why would they come to Hadestown?
There's a reason that classic stories are classics. They attract and hold our attention for centuries. So there's something to those stories, to those characters that human beings connect to on both a basic and an emotional and intellectual level. So we're telling that kind of story. You're going to enjoy that because humans have for thousands of years. Also, the way that the author and the composer has put it together, it also has a modern sensibility to it. It's like a folk song kind of musical. The music is beautiful, is absolutely beautiful, is very used in very different ways. I mean, we've got both strings and a trombone, so that tells you just the variety of things that we have with it.
And it's fresh.
Yes,
It's new.
yes.
For high schools to be able to do
Yes.
this. It's newly available.
Exactly.
And it's a timeless story. Lots of
Absolutely.
dancing, singing from start to finish,
Yep.
and a unique production different from what you've seen before.
Yes.
What could be better? Don't miss it.
I'm coming, wait for me. I hear the walls repeating, the falling of my feet, and it sounds like drumming. And I am not alone. I hear the rocks and stones echo in my song. I'm coming.
If you'd like to watch one of the performances, Hadestown runs Thursday, November 14th through Monday, November 18th. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Supercast. Remember, education is the most important thing you'll do today. We'll see you out there.